Today we're making a simple olive oil soap. 3 ingredients, plus we're adding a fragrance. And you end up with such a nice product that you will be so happy with. You won't want store-bought soap anymore. You'll want to make your own soap every time you need soap. Let's go. Welcome to Becky's Homestead. Today we're going to be making a soap recipe that only calls for 3 ingredients. Olive oil, lye, and distilled water. Very, very simple. We make soap for our homestead, for our personal use. This is not a hobby for us. We don't try to sell it. It's not a business. This is homestead personal use. So we like to just make a simple recipe, get it done, get it in there to cure, and we're set to go. We don't want to fool around too much. So let me show you all the stuff you need to get going, and then we'll start on this actual soap making. We need molds. I buy these silicone molds from Amazon. You can buy different shapes. This is kind of a big bar, which I do like in the bath. And the nice thing about the silicone molds is you can get the soap out easy when it's time to get it cured and also to cut it. The nice part about these molds, there is no cutting involved. You just pop them out and then let them cure. So that's convenient. If you don't have the money or you don't have molds but you still want to make soap, you can use a shallow cardboard box lined with a plastic garbage bag. Your soap will come out perfectly fine. It'll be functional. It might not be beautiful, but it'll totally work. Besides that, we have our olive oil. We just buy a big bottle, 100% pure olive oil. We buy the lye beads, and then we have distilled water. I'm going to add a fragrance. You don't have to add a fragrance, but if you choose to, you can add a fragrance. This is eucalyptus oil. You need a scale. Here's a little scale, very handy little scale. You can purchase this on Amazon as well. 2 plastic containers of some kind. These are just cottage cheese containers. I like to use the little hand blender that you plug in and turn it on. The only reason I like this is it brings it to trace quicker. It just speeds up the process. You can mix it by hand. It's perfectly fine if you don't have one of these. You can use a spoon or a whisk. I have a little bowl here because I'm going to be adding coloring. I'll show you that as we go, just to make my soap a little cuter. You need towels. I have some dish towels here, and I also have a blanket because we're going to be covering the soap once it's in the molds. You want to keep it warm. You want it to cool down slowly. I also have cut these cardboard pieces to go on top of these molds, and then we cover them with the blankets. So you're going to need, to cut up some cardboard to go over it. When it's time to cure the soap, we get a cardboard box and we cut the soap up or pop them out of the molds, and we cure them on these little needle point plastic pieces. And the reason is we want the airflow to go through there, and it just keeps it up off the ground and lets a little air come to it. You're also going to need some safety equipment. Here is a pair of goggles. You don't want any of this to splash into your eyes. And then I also wear a safety mask right here. That's because when you add the water and the lye together, it'll make like steam. You don't want to breathe that. It's very stinky. And that's it. So if you want to grab a notebook and a pencil so you can write down these ingredients and how much you need, run and get that, and then we're going to get started. Okay, 50 ounces of olive oil. So we're going to be very, very precise. I like to just take my time and get it exactly right. I find the bars come out better. There we go, perfect. 15 ounces of water, distilled water. Okay, we're going to get this exactly 15. Perfect, 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 right there. Now remember, there's science involved here, so you don't want to wing it. You want to be very, very, very precise if you want your bars to turn out good. 6.3 ounces of lye beads. 6.3, absolutely perfect. Alrighty then. Okay, we have 50 ounces of olive oil, 15 ounces of water, distilled water, and we have 6.3 ounces of lye beads. The next thing we're gonna do is mix the lye into the water. You never pour the water into the lye because you don't want it to splash. All right, so we're gonna dump the lye crystals into the water, and this is the stinky part, so have your protective gear on. You don't want it to splash, so be careful. And then just dump it in there. It heats up quickly. Get it out of there. And the water is very hot. You can instantly feel how hot the container is. Very, very hot. Okay, now we're gonna leave this sit here until it cools down. When it's just about warm to the touch, it's getting to be 110 degrees. That's when we're gonna add it to the oil. Some people just do it when it's warm to the touch, or if you have a thermometer, it can work and serve you well. Okay, so I'm gonna start mixing this in here, and I'm gonna go slow. And I'm just gonna mix with the spoon. It's gonna change colors. The oil turns kind of opaque looking. So it gets cloudy. So you want to get this stirred in there pretty good with the spoon first. So it takes just a second, and then I'm going to start using the electric mixer. But if you don't have the electric mixer, you're just going to continue stirring with the spoon. Just stir, 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 until you see it start to trace. And if you're doing it with the spoon, it's going to take quite some time. What we're talking about when we say trace is we want it to be thick like gravy or pudding, where when you move the spoon, it leaves a little trail behind it, but not too thick. There is a tricky sweet spot in there. So you want it to trace, but you don't want it to be too thick, because you do have to give yourself time to get it into the molds and covered up. All right, so I have it mixed like that now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna switch to my electric mixer. Now the electric mixer, you kind of pulsate it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it on, let it go for a minute, and then I'm gonna stir it like this. Give it a second. I don't just keep mixing. You kind of take it slow. Okay, so I'm gonna do it again for like 15, 20 seconds. Okay, I want to do it again. I'm just going to stir it like this. Now you just keep doing this until you reach trace, which takes, a few minutes. And it's turned a very nice color. So I'm going to do it again. No matter what soap I try, just olive oil soap's my favorite. I always go back to olive oil soap. All right, I can tell it's getting thicker. I want to mix some colors in here, and I'm going to put some in this bowl because I want to make my sunflowers yellow and blue this time. I'm going to put this few drops in here. I want it to be pretty bright. Okay, I'm just going to use my little scoop here, and I'm going to quickly start getting this in the mold. I want the flower part yellow, and then the bottom of these I'm going to make blue. Shake it down in the mold, get it as flat as you can. We're gonna add our fragrance in, and we'll put a few drops in here. Whoops. You can put whatever fragrance you want. Just go ahead and dump a little in there. We don't want it too strong. Okay, I'm gonna make that pretty blue. Okay, that didn't turn out very blue, but it'll work. It'll be a contrast. Okay, so now I'm gonna quickly scoop the blue in here. Okay, now I'm gonna be dumping it in the mold. It's just the best. It smells really good. I like the smell of eucalyptus. And the longer it cures, the better it gets. So, by the end of the year, it usually lasts me a year when I make a batch of soap. Because, it doesn't melt like commercial soap does. I don't know, commercial soap just disintegrates and melts so fast, but this soap doesn't. So it lasts a long time. All right, so I'm just gonna jiggle it down a little. I don't care if the top of the bar isn't perfectly smooth, it looks homemade. I like it homemade. Now again, I'm gonna cover this quickly. Get that covered while I'm doing this third one. That'll help. Okay, so here all the rest is going in this mold. There, perfect. And then I'm gonna shake this too. We're gonna put them all three together so we can cover them with the blanket. You want it to cure, you don't want it to cool down too fast. Here we are at the end. What we did is we measured everything out. Then we mixed the lye beads in with the water, stirred it up, wait until the temperature comes down to 110 degrees. Then we mix that into the oil, stir it with the spoon, and then when it comes to trace, which means thick like pudding, we put it in the molds, cover everything with towels, and then cover it all with a blanket, and we let it cure for 24 hours. So let's see, which I just love soap, so I'm always so excited to do this part. Look how nice that came out with no coloring in it. That looks good. Okay, and the hearts. They're little white hearts. It's nice and heavy. It feels like such good soap. I like to cure it for 4 weeks, but the longer it cures, the better it is. So if you save it for a year. Let's see if the flowers came out yellow on the top. The flowers always come out so pretty. And if I give soap away, that's usually the ones I give away are these flowers. And these are really big bars, so they last a long time. Okay, so now I'm gonna move the soap over here to the box. I have the needle point plastic in the bottom of the box so it can have air from underneath. And I just move everything over here into this box because I'm gonna set this box up in the closet shelf in my bathroom so it has, it's out of the way and it can just cure for 4 weeks. Now I'm gonna flip this one out of the mold. This is the only one I have to cut. So I'm gonna flip it out of the mold onto the table and then I'm gonna cut it into bars. So I'm still gonna try to straighten the bar out a little bit. I'm using a stainless steel cutter, very inexpensive. I got it on Amazon. You don't wanna wait too long to cut your soap because you won't be able to and it'll be crumbly. So you want it, this is cutting through there, just about right. Even though it looked like I had a little trouble getting it out of the mold, it's cutting perfectly. It's not crumbling on the edges or anything. Okay, so now I'm gonna stack these in the box. It smells really good. I like the eucalyptus I used this time. I love the smell of eucalyptus. It's very fresh and, I don't know, kind of exhilarating. Smells really, 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 really nice. Okay, this box I'm gonna go put on the top shelf in the bathroom so it can cure for 4 weeks. So I'm gonna keep track. It's not ready to use right now. You can't use it. You have to wait the 4 weeks until it cures. But it's such a wonderful product. It's well worth the wait. And then I'll have all this nice soap when 4 weeks is up. Everything's all set. It was so easy. And you end up with such a nice product that you will be so happy with. You won't want store-bought soap anymore. You'll want to make your own soap every time you need soap.